Everything is energy, including this connection that you have tried to rationalize, compartmentalize, and dismiss as mere coincidence. You have felt the pull across distance, the sudden thought of them that arrives like a whisper from nowhere, the dreams that carry their presence into your subconscious realm. This is not fantasy. This is the language of energy speaking through the veil of physical separation, reminding you that consciousness is not confined to the boundaries of flesh and bone. Quantum physics has revealed what mystics have known for millennia. Particles remain connected regardless of distance, influencing each other instantaneously in a phenomenon scientists call entanglement. Your connection operates on this same fundamental principle. What happens in your energetic field creates ripples in theirs. When you shift your frequency, when you transform the quality of your internal state, they feel it before a single word is spoken, before a single message is sent. You are bound by invisible threads that vibrate with every change in your consciousness. This person tried to move on yesterday. They attempted to redirect their attention, to convince themselves that the chapter is closed, that forward momentum means forgetting. But something inside them refused. Some part of their being that exists beyond ego and logic pulled them back toward the thought of you, toward the memory of what you shared, toward the undeniable recognition that this connection carries weight their rational mind cannot dismiss. They are feeling your energetic signature right now, in this very moment, as you absorb these words. You have been operating from a place of misunderstanding, believing that change requires action, conversation, confrontation. But the true transformation happens in the invisible realm first. Your energy creates your reality. When you shift your frequency, you change the entire dynamic without uttering a single syllable. The universe is already responding to the vibration you emit. They are already responding to the vibration you emit. Right energy is everything in the comments to align with this frequency and activate the manifestation process that is already unfolding in dimensions you cannot yet perceive. You have been caught in a pattern that ancient wisdom and modern physics both recognize as the fundamental dance of polarity. When you chase, when you reach, when you extend your energy toward them with urgency and need, you create a force that pushes them away with equal intensity. This is not cruelty. This is not rejection. This is the natural law of energetic exchange responding to the frequency of desperation. Energy flows toward scarcity and away from abundance that seeks validation. When you chase, you broadcast a signal that says you are incomplete without them, that your wholeness depends on their response, that your value requires their confirmation. This frequency repels because it carries the weight of dependence, and all beings instinctively move away from energy that seeks to drain rather than exchange. The masculine principle, regardless of gender, responds to challenge and retreats from pursuit. The feminine principle, regardless of gender, opens to presence and closes to pressure. You have been operating from an inverted polarity, pushing when you should pull, giving when you should receive, speaking when you should embody silence. The dynamic between you has been shaped by this misalignment, creating distance where you intended closeness, creating withdrawal where you intended connection. They have felt suffocated by the intensity of your need, even as they simultaneously crave the depth of your devotion. This paradox is the essence of the chaser-chase pattern. But here is what they will never tell you because they do not yet understand it themselves. They are equally trapped in this dance. Their withdrawal is not power but reaction. Their distance is not choice but automatic response to the energetic pressure they feel emanating from your field. They believe they are moving away because they want to, but they are moving away because the physics of energy demand it. Remove the pressure and the physics change instantly. When you stop chasing, you do not become passive. You become magnetic. You shift from the frequency of lack to the frequency of sufficiency, from the vibration of need to the vibration of wholeness. And in that shift, everything they thought they knew about this connection begins to unravel, begins to reform, begins to pull them back toward you with a force they cannot name but cannot resist. The moment you withdraw your energy, the moment you stop feeding the dynamic with your attention and effort and emotional investment, a vacuum forms in the space you once occupied in their consciousness. Nature abhors a vacuum and rushes to fill it. This is not metaphor. This is fundamental law. The energetic void created by your absence begins to pull at them with increasing intensity, creating a restlessness they cannot explain, a sense of something missing they cannot identify, a hunger for your presence that grows stronger the longer you remain energetically detached. You have been taught that silence means giving up, that distance means losing, that stepping back means surrendering the connection. But the opposite is true. Your retreat creates the space necessary for energetic rebalancing to occur. When you were chasing, you were doing all the work, carrying all the weight, generating all the momentum. The dynamic was lopsided, unsustainable, destined to collapse under the pressure of your one-sided investment. But when you stop, when you return your energy to yourself, the scales tip violently in the opposite direction. They begin to feel your absence in ways that surprise them. Small moments trigger thoughts of you. Random occurrences carry your energetic signature. They find themselves reaching for their phone to contact you, then stopping, then wondering why they wanted to reach out in the first place. This is not accident. This is the vacuum pulling at their consciousness, demanding that they fill the space you have vacated. Carl Jung spoke of the principle that what we resist persists, what we deny grows stronger in the shadows of our awareness. They have been resisting the depth of this connection, denying the significance of what you shared. But your energetic withdrawal forces them to confront what they have been avoiding. The shift happens internally first. You stop checking for their messages. You stop analyzing their social media activity. You stop constructing imaginary conversations in your mind. Your energy stops leaking toward them and begins flowing back toward yourself, filling your own vessel, restoring your own reserves. And as you become full again, as you remember your completeness, your frequency rises to a level that acts as a beacon they cannot ignore. This is not manipulation. This is alignment. You are not playing games. You are returning to truth. The truth is that you are whole without them. The truth is that your happiness does not depend on their choices. The truth is that your value exists independent of their recognition. And when you embody that truth energetically, when you vibrate at the frequency of self-sufficiency, you become irresistible to the very person who once pulled away. You and this person are energetic mirrors reflecting back the frequency each of you broadcasts into the quantum field. What you see in them, what frustrates you about them, what you wish they would change, is a direct reflection of your own internal state. When you were desperate, they appeared unavailable. When you were insecure, they seemed distant. When you were uncertain of your worth, they questioned your value. This is not coincidence. This is the mirror showing you what you are projecting. The external world is always a reflection of internal reality. You cannot change them. You cannot force them to see your value, to recognize your worth, to appreciate your presence. But you can change yourself. And when you change yourself, when you heal the wounds that create the desperate frequency, when you transform the beliefs that generate the insecure vibration, the mirror must reflect the new image. They cannot remain unchanged when you have fundamentally altered the energetic dynamic between you. This is why all attempts to manipulate them, convince them, or prove yourself to them have failed. You were trying to change the reflection instead of changing what stands before the mirror. You were demanding that they shift while you remained locked in the same patterns, the same beliefs, the same frequency that created the original dynamic. But the mirror does not lie. The mirror shows you exactly what you are broadcasting, and it shows them exactly what you are broadcasting, and their response is simply the reflection of what you emit. When you heal your relationship with yourself, they feel it. When you stop abandoning yourself to chase them, they stop abandoning you. When you stop betraying your needs to accommodate theirs, they stop betraying your trust. The mirror effect is instantaneous in the energetic realm, though it may take time to manifest in physical reality. But the shift has already occurred. The moment you change your frequency, their reflection must change in response. You cannot change them, but you can change you, and that changes everything. The person who returns to you will be different because you are different. The dynamic that unfolds will be healthier because your frequency is healthier. The love that emerges will be authentic because you have become authentic. The mirror can only reflect what stands before it, and you are transforming into something that demands a different reflection. Carl Jung revealed that beneath the individual psyche lies a collective unconscious, a shared reservoir of human experience and archetypal knowledge Tha. T connects all consciousness. You and this person are not merely connected through personal history or shared memories. You are connected through layers that exist deeper than the physical, deeper than the emotional, deeper than the intellectual realm. Your souls communicate in a language the ego cannot hear, transmitting information through channels the rational mind dismisses as impossible. You have experienced this connection in ways that defy logical explanation. The dreams that carry their presence with vivid clarity. The sudden thoughts that arrive precisely when they are thinking of you. The synchronicities that speak your names in the external world, confirming what your intuition already knows. These are not coincidences manufactured by a desperate mind seeking patterns in chaos. These are transmissions from the collective unconscious, messages traveling through the energetic field that binds all consciousness into a unified whole. They dream of you more than they admit. They feel your energy shift before you speak. They sense your withdrawal before you physically distance yourself. This happens because your connection operates on frequencies beyond the five senses, beyond the linear timeline, beyond the separations that physical reality appears to create. In the realm of the collective unconscious, distance is illusion. Separation is temporary. The connection persists regardless of circumstance, because it is woven into the fabric of consciousness itself. This is why they cannot truly move on. This is why something inside them refused when they attempted to redirect their attention yesterday. The collective unconscious recognizes soul contracts, energetic bonds, karmic agreements that transcend individual will. Part of them knows that this connection carries significance beyond casual relationship, beyond temporary attraction, beyond the surface-level interactions that define most human encounters. They feel the weight of what exists between you, even when their ego attempts to minimize or dismiss it. If you want to understand the advanced mechanics of this spiritual connection, subscribe now because the deeper teachings require sustained attention and commitment to growth. You are being prepared for reunion on a level that most people never access, never understand, never experience. Your souls speak constantly in the silence between words, in the space between thoughts, in the dreams that bridge waking reality with the infinite realm where all consciousness converges into unified truth. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. Detachment does not mean you kill the love, numb the feelings, or pretend the connection never mattered. Detachment means you release your grip on the outcome, you surrender your need to control the timeline, you trust that what is meant for you will find you regardless of your efforts to force or manipulate circumstances. This is the manifestation paradox. When you stop needing the outcome, you align with receiving it. You have been operating from attachment, from the desperate energy that says this must happen, this must unfold in a specific way, this person must return according to your preferred schedule. That attachment creates resistance in the quantum field. It broadcasts a frequency of lack, of incompleteness, of desperation that repels the very outcome you desire. The universe responds to your vibration, not your words. When you vibrate at the frequency of need, you receive more situations that make you feel needy. When you vibrate at the frequency of wholeness, you receive confirmation of your completeness. Detachment is outcome independence. It is the internal state that says you will be complete whether they return or not, you will be happy whether this unfolds or not, you will thrive whether they choose you or not. This does not mean you do not want them. This means you do not need them to be okay. That distinction is everything. Want comes from fullness and attracts abundance. Need comes from emptiness and attracts more lack. When you detach, you stop obsessing over their social media activity. You stop analyzing every word of your last conversation. You stop constructing elaborate theories about their behavior. Your energy stops bleeding toward them and begins circulating within your own system, nourishing your own dreams, fueling your own growth, creating your own reality independent of their choices. And paradoxically, this is precisely what makes them unable to forget you. The person who needs nothing is magnetic. The person who is complete alone is irresistible. The person who has detached from the outcome becomes the outcome others chase. You are learning this lesson in the most painful way possible, but you are learning it nonetheless. Detachment is not loss. Detachment is power. It is the frequency that allows manifestation to occur without force, without struggle, without the resistance that has been blocking your desired reality from collapsing into physical form. You will know your frequency has shifted not because they contact you, but because you stop checking if they have contacted you. The first sign of energetic transformation is internal peace that no longer depends on external validation. You wake up and your first thought is not about them. You move through your day and hours pass without obsessive analysis of the situation. You feel centered in your own experience, grounded in your own worth, complete in your own presence. The external confirmations follow the internal shift. Synchronicities begin appearing with increasing frequency, speaking your story back to you through songs, conversations, numbers, and seemingly random occurrences that carry too much meaning to dismiss. New opportunities emerge in your career, your social life, your creative endeavors. People are drawn to you without effort. Doors open without force. You begin to recognize that you are not waiting for life to begin when they return, but that life is already happening with or without their participation. You notice that when you think of them now, the energy is different, the desperation has dissolved, the anxiety has transformed into curiosity, the pain has alchemized into wisdom. You can hold the memory of what you shared without collapsing into longing. You can acknowledge the love without drowning in attachment. This neutrality is not apathy. This neutrality is mastery. You have reclaimed your power from a situation that once held you hostage. When you stop looking for them, you start seeing them everywhere. Not in the obsessive way you once searched for signs, but in the natural way that occurs when your frequency has aligned with the vibration of reunion. Their name appears without you seeking it. People mention them in casual conversation. You dream of them with clarity that feels more like telepathic communication than subconscious processing. These occurrences do not destabilize you because you have become stable within yourself. They simply confirm what you already know. The energetic shift has occurred. Others notice the change in you before you fully recognize it yourself. Friends comment that you seem different, lighter, more present. Strangers are attracted to your energy. You receive compliments, opportunities, and attention that was absent when you were vibrating at the frequency of lack. This is not coincidence. This is confirmation. Your energy has shifted from chasing to magnetizing, from desperate to abundant, from needing to being. And that shift is visible to everyone in your field, including the person who once pulled away. That is the signal your energy has transformed. Not their return, but your peace. Not their apology, but your self-sufficiency. Not their recognition, but your self-love. The external reality will mirror this internal transformation in divine timing, but the real manifestation has already occurred within you. They sense the withdrawal, and it creates panic in the depths of their psyche that they cannot explain to themselves or others. They thought they wanted space. They thought they needed distance. They thought they were ready to move forward without you. But your energetic absence creates a disturbance they did not anticipate, a hollow sensation they cannot fill with distractions or new connections or forced attempts at progress. The magnetic pull of healed energy is irresistible. When you were wounded, desperate, and chasing, they could resist you because your energy felt heavy, demanding, suffocating. But now that you have healed, now that you have become whole, now that you vibrate at a frequency of completeness, they feel drawn toward you by a force that bypasses logic and operates directly on their nervous system. You have become the thing they instinctively move toward instead of the thing they instinctively retreat from. They may not contact you immediately. The ego resists what the soul knows is true. They may fight against the pull, convince themselves they are imagining the shift, distract themselves with other people or activities or rationalizations. But beneath the surface resistance, they feel you. They feel your peace and it disturbs their chaos. They feel your wholeness and it highlights their fragmentation. They feel your detachment and it creates attachment where none existed before. In moments of stillness, when their defenses are lowered, they think of you with a quality of longing they did not possess when you were available. They wonder what you are doing, who you are becoming, whether you still think of them the way they are beginning to think of you. The tables have turned not through manipulation but through genuine transformation. You are no longer the one waiting. You have become the one worth waiting for. Share this energetic wisdom with someone who needs to hear it, someone who is still operating from the frequency of chase instead of the frequency of magnetism. The algorithm will carry these words. To those who are ready to receive them, ready to transform, ready to understand that the power has always resided within them and never in the hands of the person they have been pursuing. They feel your shift. They feel your absence. They feel the pull. And soon they will have no choice but to respond to it. The path to energetic alignment begins with radical redirection of focus. You must stop making them the center of your reality and begin making yourself the priority your soul has been demanding. Every moment you spend analyzing their behavior is a moment stolen from your own evolution. Every hour you spend hoping they will change is an hour you could invest in becoming the person who no longer needs them to be different. Raise your frequency through joy that exists independent of their participation. Find activities that make you lose track of time. Cultivate friendships that nourish your spirit. Pursue goals that excite your imagination. Create a life so fulfilling that their absence becomes noticeable not because it creates a void, but because you realize your vessel is already overflowing. This is not distraction. This is reclamation of the energy you have been hemorrhaging toward a situation outside your control. The version of you that does not need them is the version of you that is irresistible to them. This is the cosmic joke, the divine paradox, the manifestation principle that seems cruel but is actually merciful. You cannot attract from emptiness. You cannot manifest from desperation. You cannot call in the relationship you desire while vibrating at the frequency of the relationship you fear. You must become the energetic match for what you want to receive. Stop performing spiritual practices designed to make them come back. Stop visualizing reunion as if it is something you must force into existence through sheer willpower. Start living as if you are already whole, already complete, already the person you would be if this worked out exactly as you hope. That version of you is not waiting. That version of you is thriving. That version of you has released attachment to timeline and outcome and has surrendered to the wisdom of divine orchestration. Become the person who does not need them, not through spiritual bypassing or emotional suppression, but through genuine healing and authentic growth. Feel the grief when it arises, honor the love that remains, but do not let these feelings become your identity. You are not defined by this connection. You are not diminished by their absence. You are not incomplete because they have not chosen you yet. You are whole, you are worthy, you are ready, and that readiness is what calls them back to you. Multiple timelines exist simultaneously in the quantum field, each one representing a different version of your future unfolding in parallel dimensions. Your energy chooses which timeline collapses into your physical reality. In one timeline, they return transformed, ready to meet you at the level you have risen to, capable of the depth you now embody. In another timeline, someone better arrives, someone who recognizes your value immediately, someone who does not require your diminishment as payment for their presence. Both timelines lead to your happiness. Both timelines result in your fulfillment. Both timelines deliver the love you have been preparing yourself to receive. The universe is not punishing you by making you wait. The universe is protecting you by ensuring you do not settle for a connection that would require you to abandon yourself. You are being refined through this experience, polished by the friction, strengthened by the resistance. They tried to move on yesterday, but something inside them refused. That refusal is the voice of their soul recognizing what their ego attempts to deny. That refusal is the energetic pull responding to your frequency shift. That refusal is the universe confirming that this story is not finished, that this connection carries weight, that this bond was designed for transformation on both sides. You are the creator of your reality. The universe is responding to your frequency every moment of every day. What you emit is what you attract. What you embody is what you become. What you believe is what manifests. Choose wisely. Choose consciously. Choose from the place of power within you that knows your worth is not determined by another person's recognition of it. The outcome is already written in the energetic realm. Your only task is to maintain the frequency that allows it to materialize in physical form. Stay in your power, trust the timing. Know that what is meant for you will not miss you. And if they will return to a version of you that no longer needs them to feel complete. That is the reunion worth waiting for. That is the love worth becoming.